Does the president have plans to watch any of the trial this week? And does the White House prefer a speedy impeachment trial, or would the president prefer a full airing of the violence at the Capitol and Trump's role in inciting it through things like live witnesses?
Well, first, the president himself would tell you that we keep him pretty busy, and he has a full schedule this week, which we will continue to keep you abreast of as soon as we have more details. But we've already announced his plans to go visit the NIH, to go visit the Department of Defense. As I noted, he will be engaging with business leaders, mayors, and governors, and of course, continuing to make the case and have conversations with Democrats and Republicans directly about his hopes and plans for the American Rescue Plan moving forward as quickly as possible. So I think it's clear from his schedule and from his intention, he will not spend too much time watching the proceedings of any time over the course of this week. He will remain closely in touch with Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, a range of officials on the Hill about his plan, and that's exactly what they want him to do, is to remain focused on that. And he will leave the pace and the process and the mechanics of the impeachment proceedings up to members of Congress.
Two questions for you. One, on the minimum wage, you're saying it's up to the parliamentarian to make a decision about whether that can be included in here. Of course, we know Senator Sanders said they're still waiting on that, but technically the vice president could overrule the parliamentarian on this, and it hasn't happened in a long time, but is that an option the White House is considering? Would President Biden want Vice President Harris to overrule the parliamentarian to include this in this package?
Well, I'm not aware of that being allowed. I'd certainly take you at your word. I think our view is that the parliamentarian is who is chosen typically to make a decision in a nonpartisan manner in terms of what can be included in a package that goes through reconciliation is the proper process for this to journey through.
So when President Biden told CBS that he did not think it was going to survive, who had told him that it wasn't going to make it through likely?
Well, the president was in Congress in the Senate for 36 years. Again, it still has not worked its way through the process, and that can take a bit of time, and we certainly defer to the parliamentarian and members of the House and of the Senate, I should say, to give you a better assessment of what the timeline looks like.
Okay, I have another question on impeachment, but just to be clear,
Sure.
So if the parliamentarian says no $15 minimum wage, that's the decision the White House is going with?
Well, let's wait and see what they say. And the president remains committed to raising the minimum wage. It's something he talked about on the campaign trail, something he firmly believes in as a person and as a leader, but there hasn't been a determination made at this point in time.
President Biden said in the CBS interview that he hadn't spoken to President Xi yet because he hadn't had an occasion to talk to him. There's no reason not to call him. But has there been, is it actually part of the strategy to not call him yet and to hold off on that in hopes of kind of sending a message to China that President Biden is not going to, try to work, really hard to curry favor? Is there something happening there?
Well, part of our strategy is to consult closely with our partners and allies, and you saw we did readouts of these calls over the past week or so that the president spoke with the Prime Minister of Japan, he spoke with the Prime Minister of South Korea, he spoke with the Prime Minister of Australia, and China was, of course, an important topic of conversation during those conversations. He also discussed China in calls with his European allies thus far. So part of our strategy is certainly engaging with partners in the region and allies and doing those calls and engagements first, and also having consultations with Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill. I know I can't say this forever, but we've only been here 2.5 weeks. He has not called every global leader yet. He's not had engagements with all of them, and I'm sure he will do more of that in the weeks ahead.
COVID crisis related question.
Go ahead.
Because the attacks in the Asian American community continue to rise, and over the weekend there were some videos that went viral because elderly Asian Americans were really attacked and in a way that is difficult to watch. And I wonder, other than the presidential memorandum, is President Biden going to take any further actions to address this problem, and has he seen the videos?
I'm not aware that he's seen the videos, but he is concerned about the discrimination against, the actions against the Asian American community, which is why he signed the executive order and why he's been outspoken in making clear that, attacks, verbal attacks, any attacks of any form are unacceptable, and we need to work together to address them. But obviously, the executive order is something he did very early in his administration. It's still early, but even earlier, because he felt it was so important to put a marker down.
Is there anything more that can be done, like offer DOJ or FBI assistance to local law enforcement authorities? I mean,
I'd certainly defer to, we would support, of course, additional action on a local level or federal level, but I would send you to DOJ or FBI for any further specifics on that. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.